When people often hear the word tincture, they think of something complicated or overwhelming. But tinctures are actually one of the simplest, oldest, and most reliable ways humans have worked with plants as medicine. A tincture is basically just a concentrated herbal extract. Herbs, or mushrooms, are steeped in alcohol or glycerin over time. This draws out their beneficial compounds and preserves them in a form that's stable, potent, and easy to use. This method has been used for centuries, not because it was trendy, but because it works. Tinctures shine in a cottage apothecary because they offer consistency. You don't need to brew a tea. You don't need to prepare anything fresh. Just a few drops taken thoughtfully allows the body to receive its medicine in a steady, measured way. This makes tinctures especially effective in ongoing support rather than quick and emergency fixes. Now, one of the most important distinctions in herbal medicine is the difference between tonic herbs and acute herbs. Tonic herbs are used gently and consistently over time. They support resilience, balance, and long-term vitality. Acute herbs are used short-term, during illness, injury, or moments of stress, and then set aside. Understanding the difference is what turns herbal medicine into a system rather than just guesswork. Now, it's important for me to include that some of the most important tinctures and tonics don't come just from plants, but from mushrooms. Lion's mane, for example, has been widely studied for its role in supporting cognitive health and nerve function. Reishi has a long history as a whole body tonic. Still, research today for immune modulation, stress resilience, and overall balance. Now, these aren't fast-acting remedies. They work quietly and over time, supporting the body's own ability to regulate and repair. Traditional herbal systems also relied heavily on tonics. Roots and vines like faux tea, used carefully and appropriately, have long been associated with vitality, anti-aging, and long-term nourishment. Modern research now studies these herbs for their antioxidant activity and effects on systemic resilience, confirming what most traditional use has observed. And as always, discernment matters. Some tonics are seasonal and some are better used with guidance. The reason why alcohol works so well as an extraction method is because it captures constituents that water alone cannot and preserves it very well. And it allows tinctures to remain shelf-stable for years when stored properly. This is why tinctures have remained the cornerstone of herbal medicine for centuries, across cultures. Now remember, not every herb is meant to be taken daily, and not every tincture is right for every person. In this series, we're going to talk about proper dosing, when to pause or cycle herbs, when tinctures aren't appropriate, and how to build a collection that's supportive and not overwhelming. Herbal medicine works best when it's intentional, informed, and patient. In the coming videos, we'll walk step by step through making tinctures and tonics like lion's mane mushroom tincture, reishi tincture, turkey tail mushroom tincture, herbal tonics for long-term resilience, evening primrose tinctures, a lot of the roots that I've gathered over the past couple of months like burdock and dandelion and even marshmallow, and how to turn them into supportive blends designed for everyday life. You don't need dozens of bottles, just a few chosen wisely. If you're new to tinctures, start slow. Observe how your body responds and let consistency do the work. Alcohol extracts and preserves alkaloids, resins, essential oils, and bitter compounds. This makes tinctures potent, long-lasting, and shelf-stable for years. The alcohol you're most going to want to use during tinctures is going to be vodka, and that's going to be in the 80 to 100 proof range. Now, this is the most versatile and easy to handle as far as taste. Brandy is good for warming herbs and syrups. And then anything that's a higher proof vodka or alcohol is going to be used for things like mushrooms, resins, and roots. But if in doubt, 80 to 100 proof vodka works for almost everything. Now, fresh versus dried, right? When you have your herbs, the green stuff, right? Fresh herbs contain water, so they need more alcohol to prevent spoilage. They also need to be chopped finely so that the alcohol can access more of the herb and there's more surface area of the herb. The general ratio for this is 1 part fresh herb with 2 parts vodka. Now, dry herbs are more concentrated and there's less water. It also absorbs liquid. The general ratio for dried herbs is 1 part dried herb to 4 to 5 parts alcohol. And these ratios are very forgiving. Herbalism allows flexibility. So the general rules on how to make a tincture: first, you're going to want to chop up the herbs or break down the mushrooms. Place them in a clean jar and then cover them completely with alcohol. And remember those ratios that we were talking about. Stir to remove the air bubbles, seal, and label. And when I say seal, I don't mean you have to remove all the air from the jar. Just put the lid on and then make sure you label it. And when you're labeling it, put the date. Store in a cool, dark place and then shake it gently every few days. Usually they're going to want to steep for about 4 to 6 weeks. Sometimes longer if they're roots or mushrooms, because they are denser and thicker and it takes longer for the vodka and alcohol to do its work. And then you're going to strain out all the herbs or the roots or the mushrooms from the vodka, and then you're going to store it in an amber glass. The dark glass makes the tincture last longer and stay more medicinally potent. Sunlight can kind of damage it. Now here's the amazing part. Shelf life can be 3 to 5 years or even longer, as long as you keep it out of heat and direct sunlight. Now, herbal glycerites, which is a glycerin-based tincture, is awesome because it's alcohol-free, really safe for kids. It's sweet and it's palatable. And not only is it good for kids, but it's also good for sensitive individuals. It extracts the tannins and the glycosides and some alkaloids, but not all the alcohol-soluble compounds, which is why tinctures are often done in alcohol form. But if you have someone sensitive or a child that you're dealing with, you're going to get a lot of benefit from using the glycerin. The glycerin that you're going to want to use is going to be food grade only, and definitely vegetable glycerin. Now, glycerin is thick, so it needs to be diluted. The dilution ratio for glycerin is usually 60% glycerin and then 40% water. This improves extraction and decreases the risk of mold. Glycerites work best with fresh or lightly dried herbs. Avoid very resinous or woody herbs. So how to make a glycerate? Again, chop the herbs finely, place them in a clean jar. Pour the diluted glycerin over the herbs and cover them completely. Stir thoroughly, seal, label, put the date. Store in a warm, dark place. Shake gently every few days. Steep 4 to 6 weeks. Strain carefully, the glycerin is thick, and then bottle and label it. The shelf life of a glycerate is about 1 to 3 years. Now, refrigeration can extend the shelf life with these. Here's the question everybody asks. What is the dosage? Herbal dosing is individual and context-based. So here are just the very general ranges. Tinctures can be anywhere from, say, 30 drops to 1 to 2 dropperfuls. Glycerites are going to be slightly larger doses due to the gentler extraction. Start low, observe, and then you can work your way up from there. And remember, not all herbs are used daily and are safe for daily use. Make sure you're looking at what herb it is that you're using, research it a little bit, and find out exactly what the dosage is good for. There are thousands of herbs, and we can't possibly go over all of them, but these are just the general guidelines. And remember, if you're pregnant or you're nursing or you're on other medications, make sure you consult your doctor. Or be very careful, and remember, we want to err on the side of safety and conservativeness rather than being too bold with what we're doing with herbs. When in doubt, research, consult, and pause. Herbal medicine works best when it's respected and not rushed. Herbal medicine doesn't force change, it supports it. Tinctures and tonics remind us that healing is not always dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's slow, and sometimes it's as simple as taking a few drops with intention. Stay blessed.